Hello, it's Richard and James back here once again for Eurovision Ireland, and we've just seen Switzerland, Moldova and Romania. So Switzerland, what do you make of that?
Switzerland came in as sort of one of the countries that were being talked about a lot this year, and so of course we had high expectations for them. I think it works personally. I know some people watch the rehearsal and are a bit like, oh, I'm not sure, I was expecting something else. I do wonder sometimes if the hype you have before a song, if it can ever live up to it. But no, I think there was nothing wrong with that. It's very slick, it centres in very much on Luca and Luca's sex appeal, so it's all him dancing or gyrating and things. So yeah, I don't think there's a problem with that. I think it's probably got enough to get votes from both the jury and the televote. So
I think once they tidied up the camera shots after 2 or 3 run-throughs, it worked a lot better. There's sort of a dreamy sequence, 2 or 3 seconds, and it works. Of course, in the official video, Luca was interacting with the dance, but here he's not. But now they've tidied it up, it works a lot more for me.
Yeah, that interaction was missing, but I still think it works as a performance piece, and again it was in black and red, so very striking, very visual. So yeah, I think Switzerland might be back in the final for the first time in 5 years.
Moldova, what can I say about Moldova? They've stolen the sand artist from Ukraine 2011, and if anybody's watching as a true fan, they'll just take them back to 2011 and you lose focus really.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. The first run through we saw, the camera was very static, so it just stayed in the same spot, focusing on the screen behind. So Anna looked like she was about that tall and sort of almost looked like she was an extra in her own performance, which I thought, a really bold choice, not sure it was going to pay off. After that we saw, okay, they were just adjusting the camera, so there is a lot more of Anna featured in the performance. Sandring, I'm not always a big fan of gimmicks at Eurovision, but I think in this case it works. This is quite a difficult semi-final to fight your way out of. And Moldova was one of those countries I suspected might struggle. I think, again, Anna sings amazingly, she has a very powerful voice, and I think the staging now has enough for the televoters to go, ooh, that one. So I think Moldova might surprise us with this, actually.
Lastly, Romania. What do you think about Romania?
Romania's had a bit of a tricky road getting here. There was a lot of things surrounding the national selection. The performance itself, it really pains me to say this because I'm a big fan of Romania usually. The performance was a bit all over the place. There are lots of things happening and it didn't feel very cohesive to me. It sort of was jumping between different things. I mean, one moment there's forest on screen, then it seems to be underwater, then there's fire, then there's flowers. So there's a lot happening and it detracts a lot from the song, which is again it's a difficult balance of being engaging and being off-putting. I think this year Romania sort of just veered into that point where there's too much going on.
Yeah, I just lost focus because there was too much going on lately. I know it's too late to do it now, but they just need to strip it back, and unfortunately that is too late. Right, we will be back later with Sweden,
Denmark and Austria.
Yeah. See you then.
See ya.